Hey Sam, how are you? Oops. Please let me know if you can hear me and you can see the document. Okay, Sorry. Okay. Bought nothing for 4 weeks. Is it on a crypto or is it on the stock side? For 4 weeks. Tempted with Baba uncovered calls. Now on the stock side, I've been consistently engaged.
The guy that I think I joined Solo or Sony or something. They don't offer Solana. So I mean, what else am I supposed to buy? Anyways, I think cryptos are too expensive.
Okay. No, so the beauty about the cryptos is, I mean, you don't have to buy full one unit. Cryptos are always
I have
ready.
money to buy, but I don't want to overpay. The thing that I'm concerned about is the percentage gain.
Percentage.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do, but let's understand. Along with the gains comes with the no big gains comes without big risk. So yeah,
That's true.
yeah. So I mean, I have not made no change, zero change in my crypto theory in terms of how I deal with it. I didn't sell anything, and I didn't go super crazy when it fell down to, Bitcoin fell down to what, around 42K. So the other cryptocurrencies also fell down in sympathy with Bitcoin, right? They all go up and down together. I'm still holding on to my thought process and my conviction, and buy as per my regularly schedule. So I have not made any change on my thesis.
Sophie doesn't offer Solana.
Okay.
And number two, can you talk about wallets, crypto wallets?
Yeah, we spent some time last week to
sorry
talk
about that.
different I don't know, you were there last week, so we talked
Yeah,
about.
I was. Sorry.
So we talked about software wallets, we talked about
Sorry about that.
hardware wallets, the ledger, etc. And again, because of the work, I get so busy, I actually forgot to send the link to the video. I actually put it up on the YouTube, but I forgot to send it in the.
Don't worry about it. No, that's okay. It'll take me some time before I actually buy a crypto. I still don't have enough nerve to buy any futures. So yeah. So thank you.
So no problem. Anyway, I mean, for those who are here, let me just share the link to where I actually generally post these crypto videos, right? So, and my apologies. I mean, I just finished my office meeting like at 5:45, and I'm like, I have to go. And they're wondering, what meeting do I have at 6 o'clock? I said, no, I have a hard stop. I have to go for another meeting at 6 o'clock. So sorry, forgot to send a message through Meetup after the recording was posted. But if so, we actually started recording these sessions. I think this is a third session that we are actually recording it, and generally by Sunday, the content will be up on this option gig channel. So if you have missed out, like, so Samuel, if you want to go back and look at wallets, we actually spent some time on wallets last week, and then let me know if you had more questions. Very specific questions
to stream this.
It'll be great to stream it. So Eric, I haven't figured out how to on the Zoom and do the link ups and all that. That's one idea which I thought sometimes I'll spend some time, but I didn't get any time to figure that out, how to stream it.
Okay, no worries. Yeah,
I mean, but if you have some quick pointers, maybe this weekend I can try.
Nice.
Yeah, I have nothing against streaming, but just that I haven't yet done it and haven't spent time to figure out which URLs I need to configure where. All right. So thank you everyone for joining in. Let's get started on our crypto discussion. Hopefully, I hope it's going to be more of a discussion and not a monologue from my side. That makes it more interesting. And because I didn't get a break earlier, so I'm just having my coffee. Maybe we call it
Okay.
crypto with coffee. I hope you won't mind.
I had a question because
Sure.
on Monday, the stuff going on in China. So I thought people would go to cryptos. I thought Bitcoin would shoot up, but instead Bitcoin went down because I thought, yeah, because of that stuff going on in China. So
So here are two, and I have my reason. I have two reasons from my side, right? There could be more depending on the person's thought process. Number one was, and I'm going to talk more detail about this whole story around Evergrande, but in our Saturday meeting. But because you asked this question, so let me just say some of the stuff which on top of my mind. I actually had put it together in a document for our Saturday. So Evergrande, the whole concern was that Evergrande will default on its debt obligations, right? I think $38 million that they did, which were yuan denominated debt, they basically paid interest on that. The dollar denominated debt is coming due, I think tomorrow or pretty soon, or today, 23rd is today, right? So the whole concern was that they will not be able to service their debt. They will not be able to pay their interest, right? That's okay. And a company goes bankrupt. Many times the companies do keep going bankrupt throughout the world. Evergrande is almost $300 billion in debt. The bigger issue with the Evergrande is that their debt has been might have been purchased by many institutions across the world, right? Remember what happened in 2008? We had all those the subprime mortgaged, we collateralized and securitized and put some other Wall Street magic words around it, but eventually we spread those and added those into the bonds, put it in the Abacus bonds and other bonds, which we then sold it to the banks across the world. So when the housing market in US started to collapse, those who were holding those bonds, suddenly those bonds lost zero, they completely lost its value. So similarly, the concern was that the fallout of Evergrande may not be just limited to what's happening in China if their bonds have been purchased by institutions across the world. Right? Now, why impacted crypto is because one big portion of the crypto industry is the stable coins, right? And the biggest of the stable coins is USDT, right? Trezors. So USDT, in their findings, they have told that they were 63% backed by commercial paper. And we have no idea what that commercial paper include. Does that include a commercial paper from Evergrande? Possible. They never denied it, but they never confirmed it also. The USDC, which is promoted by Circle, they told that they don't hold any commercial paper from Evergrande. But they're not the biggest player. So if I look into the stable coins, you look into the stable coin category, the biggest one are still USDT, MNOPQRS. Where's stable coin? There we go. Tether. Why am I talking treasures? Tether. They're still the biggest. They're $62 billion. The second is USDC, which is like $30 billion, almost less than half. So the concern on the crypto, the concern was that if any of these stable coins, if they are holding a commercial paper from Evergrande, then suddenly they will be in a cash crunch to back the stable coin. And they'll have to find another way to back it up. So there could be repercussions on that. That is one reason. The second reason was that whenever people have concerns about what might be happening to our economy, which was because of the fallout, the repercussions could be across different countries and across the companies. Because if Evergrande goes bust, the China's economy will get impacted. If China's economy gets impacted, the Starbucks will get impacted, Nike will get impacted. China is still the second biggest consumer economy in the world. So the repercussion thought was that it will be across the overall markets itself. And whenever we have seen, whenever there are people get concerned about overall market, overall economy as such, they'll take gains from a crypto and just hold and sit in the cash. Suddenly cash becomes king. So we have seen crypto and the stock market moves in tandem whenever there is a huge concern around the economy or people get concerned. So that's my thesis. These are the two reasons why we saw crypto also tanking, along with we also saw the stock market going down. Right? So
Sorry, I'm not giving you much of a rest, but can you explain Tether? It's a Hong Kong-based stablecoin based on the US, but we don't know what they actually hold.
So this is not Hong Kong based. USDT, it's a US based company, but the bank that they are using is Bahamas based bank, somewhere in Caribbean based bank, Deltec Bank. So that's their bank, which is Deltec Bank. And the bank says that each of the Tether is backed by an real asset. Earlier, they were not declaring what the assets were, but because of the pressure from the markets, now they actually started sharing the breakup of their assets, right? Only, if I recall correctly, maybe last quarter, only 2% of USDT was actually held in US dollar cash. 63% was in commercial paper. Then some of the remaining percent was in US Treasury, which I would consider equivalent of cash, cash or cash equivalent, right? So there was a lot of concern around this USDT. Are they just printing money out of thin air? So it's still not out. If we realize that they are printing, creating this USDT out of thin air, and there is nothing to back this almost $70 billion, there's going to be a huge impact on overall crypto market. So if that turns out to be really true, but now I'm glad to see that even in last, I would say 1 year, USDC has really caught up. I mean, nobody knew about USDC a year ago, but now it's become the second biggest, almost $30 billion. I have more faith on USDC. That is why with my whatever I'm putting in a BlockFi or Gemini, not Gemini, BlockFi, and what's the other one? Celsius. I have chosen to take interest in USDC and not in Tether because I have more faith on USDC. They are actually largely backed by cash and cash equivalents. This is also USDC is through a combination of Coinbase, and then there are another company. So it's a joint venture of that. So I have more faith on USDC. But the Tether FUD has been around for many years, but now it is really catching up because people got another alternative. Now they're starting to question, and Tether really hasn't done a great job in explaining that, hey, all the Tether that they're printing is actually backed by real assets, real cash or cash equivalent. So there was another question. Zifty says, is it consumer debt or developer debt? It's actually, okay, I think Sam responded. Vendor need a paid nor services center. So there are two things. Number one is their vendors and the contractors that they are using, they didn't pay them. Number two is they had also haven't built the apartments and the houses that they promised to the consumers. So it's kind of a default on both sides. And right now they are really in a tight situation because they don't have money to build, And also on the Chinese government side, they have really tightened the conditions or the amount of leverage that any developer can take. So they started tightening these whole policies around how much risk or how much leverage, how much debt can these companies hold. So Evergrande cannot go, and now even they try to raise money, nobody will give them. That's a different question. But say 6 or 8 months ago, they were not even in a position to raise more money to continue to work on some stuff because of the policy from Chinese government. So they had to sell some of their non-core assets. They had some investments in EV. They sold that. They sold some other non-core assets to raise some money. But it's a but looks like today, last 2 days, market's thinking that maybe the issue, if Evergrande, number one, is probably Chinese government will step in to rescue it. But as of today, Chinese government hasn't done anything. They've told the local governments saying, be prepared for the fallout if Evergrande fails, right? But they're saying, make sure you have enough policing so that if people, the citizens, those or the people who had given their money to Evergrande as a escrow money to not as your what do you call that initial deposit to build apartments, they don't come on to the, there'll be obviously there will be protests, and so they just want to make sure that you have all the policing arrangements so that it doesn't get ugly, it doesn't get too bad. But they've told the local governments, the state, and the local governments to hold on and wait and watch, but be ready with the worst situation. Will the worst situation will come or not? Nobody can tell. It all depends on what Chinese government want to do at the last moment. If we look at some of the earlier, there are a few other companies that went through this whole bankruptcy process. I think this is one Hand Group or HNE Group. I forgot whatever was that. But Chinese government did interfere in selling some, assets and all that. So the world is thinking that there will be some action from Chinese government to contain the fallout, and that is why this whole stock market, etc. They basically have taken that from that equation out, and we saw the stock market going up in last 2-3 days. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Manny says I can share a visual if you let me share. Sure. What is it regarding Manny?
Just the way how the reserves of USDT are
okay.
Split.
Okay, sure. I think I actually saw it on their website. Yeah, go ahead and share it. HNA, Sam says HNA. Yeah, there was one company which the Chinese government had bailed out earlier. Okay, so this is what they have. Commercial paper and certificate of deposit, 30 billion. So is this the latest one, man? Hey, Manny, is this the?
Yeah, that's the one I found. So this was
okay.
from last week. I had it
okay, last week. Okay.
So it gives you an idea. And the problem is, like exactly as you said, the problem is that first line that is highlighted, the commercial paper, because part of it might be, again, that's the question, might be commercial bonds from Evergrande.
Yeah, possible. We don't know. Yeah. So there is no further details on this one. So that
but
is
you
why
see that it's a big portion. So
yeah.
The problem is, I think, and you brought it up perfectly, that whole, and I think there were some comments in the message in the chat, which is that the problem is, well, how much can you really trust that those stable coins are properly collateralized with whatever currency they're representing? That's the big question, right?
Correct. So I remember listening to almost 1 hour long interview of those Deltec Bank's representatives, and they were like, oh, everything is backed and all that. Again, the question is, how much can you trust that, right? Earlier we had no alternative. Now we have, but still USDT is the biggest one. and many exchanges, I mean, there is a more trading volume which happens on USDT than in any other, right? So if you look at a trading volume, it's $62 billion. Let's go back to the overall and see one of the biggest ones. How much is trading volume? Bitcoin, $32 billion.
So then do you think it'd be a good idea to like try to like short Tether?
So shorting Tether will only work if Tether goes bust, right? Otherwise, they will always stay near to $1, right?
Because they still have assets under their belt.
Yeah. So shorting will only make sense if finally it becomes turned out to be
Security.
fraud and goes down to zero. Otherwise, it just won't move. Right?
But if they come out and say we only have like half the reserves to back this, and like then is it gonna go down to like 50 cents?
So right now, the reserves, because what they have shared in terms of the amount of reserves, it is the equivalent to whatever that $69 billion. Now, I don't think they'll come back and say that the reserves are less. What they may change going forward is the composition of that reserves. But if eventually figure out that the commercial paper had nothing and the value of the commercial paper has cut in half, and they don't have real assets, so I do see that this will actually come down. I mean, we have seen some algorithmic stable coins that they suddenly crashed and became zero.
Just to comment on the question before, I also believe that we have to look a little bit how Tether is actually being used, right? Because we cannot forget that Tether is used a lot as a conversion mechanism, right? To buy some things in order, or to transfer from one DEX to the other DEX. So it's a transaction currency, right? Now, there is also people that might stake some stable coins, to get some interest rates on that, right? We have that too. So to the question is like, could that go to zero? Well, what do you think people would do if they hold, let's say, $100,000 in USDT, and there is a risk, even small, that USDT might crash? Everybody's going to basically get out of USDT. I'm not holding any USDT. I actually don't hold any USDC neither. The only one that I believe has a future and will not be impacted by the SEC is actually Terra Luna, the stablecoin from Terra, UST.
Yeah, I actually feel too that Tether might fall, and in that case, I'm using Celsius, and I collateralized like 9 Ethereum, and I got like a USDT loan out of them, and I used that to buy some like Phantom and other coins. So like, and it's already like quadrupled. So like I could go back and pay the USDT anytime, but I always feel like, maybe it's gonna have a problem with the SEC, might drop down to 75 cents. And then that's the time I should go back and pay it back, type of deal.
Yeah.
That's kind of my strategy long term.
No, so but remember, if you have taken a loan out of it, you'll have to pay the dollar amount. So if it drops out to 75 cents, you have to pay more USDT because you still have to pay the dollar amount with the interest, right?
Oh, I think it's the USDTs. Like, so I got 7,800 USDTs out of there. So I think I just have to give them back 7,800 USDTs.
Right, so I took out from Aave. So I basically staked my Ethereum on Aave and took out USDC and then deposited those USDC in Celsius and getting 8.8%.
Nice. Yeah. So it's like a similar strategy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I think USDC is better because Coinbase made it.
Yeah, that's why. In terms of, I think their brand name and USDC has a better in terms of being more honest, and actually they are mostly backed by a cash and cash equivalents. USDC.
And actually, what USDT? It started on the Tron network, right? So it was birthed out of Tron.
Yeah, but they switched. I think they keep on switching. From
they changed network. Well, that's because the image is so bad because of Justin Sun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think they did that for image purposes, but since it came out of Tron, so it's like there's always going to be some kind of like, dark energy behind it.
Eric, are you saying that Justin is too visible?
Well, I mean, he's just too, yeah, I mean, he's connected to too many scam coins.
Yeah, I know. It's too visible. It's too much everywhere.
Yeah. As if to say, we raise a lot of issues here with USDT, shady audit or lack of audits. Yeah, earlier there was no audits. Now I don't think there is an audit. Even right now there is no audit, but there is a certification from some accounting firm. There's not actually a real audit. I think they were saying they will actually get done audits in a few months. But I haven't read recently that actually audits started to happen. Ross asks question, does USDC yield 10% interest? If so, what exchange? So Ross, I use Celsius.network, CELSIUS. In this USDC brings in 8.8%. So all the stable coins, they get in around 8.8%. Whether it's a Pax, or this is from Paxos, Pax stable coin. This is a Gemini USD from Gemini Exchange, Winklevoss Brothers, Facebook guys, and this is, I think, Terra USD. Probably this is the Terra Luna. So all the stable coins on 8.8%. But if you deposit Bitcoin, you get 6.2%, Ethereum 5.35%, etc. I really didn't want to deposit my Bitcoin, etc. So basically this is becomes, instead of keeping it in a CD, hey, let's take some risk and make 8.8% instead of making 0.6% in 1 year CD. So that was my play.
So do you got any DeFi, like high risk DeFi stuff?
So not really. I think I have some contract in Curve.
So have you ever heard of Spooky Swap?
A sushi swap?
Spooky.
No.
Like Halloween, like spooky.
Oh no, Spooky Swap. No.
Spooky Swap. I put about $6,000 in there, and that was about, I'd say 3 weeks ago, and it's already tripled. It's already tripled up. It's been going up and down quite a bit. It's been pretty volatile, but I'm also farming with it. So
okay.
they have a farming section, and yeah, the farm it's pretty high APRs, and I just go in there and then compound it every day.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, there are a lot of farming.
What network is it? Is it
so this is on Phantom.
Phantom. This is on Phantom.
Yes, this is Phantom.
Phantom.
Yeah, Phantom has a really nice ecosystem. They have a Spooky Swap, Spirit Swap. They now have Taro. It's taro.to. So you could deposit into the farm section in Spooky Swap, and then you could put it into Taro and actually leverage it ×3. So say you put $1,000 into Taro, or you put $1,000 into Spooky Swap, then you brought it to Taro, you could borrow ×3. So you would have $3,000 in Spooky Swap, but you get paid out in Taro. So it's pretty crazy. It's a really nice ecosystem. They have a lot of apps that work all together, and it's all Halloween themed. So I believe it's going to peak at Halloween.
Yeah, but I mean, there are so many of these yield farming opportunities keep coming up. It's become so difficult to even keep track of. But I guess every time there will be a flavor of the month, or the DeFi, or the app of the month. I remember the YearnFi became so crazily popular last year, and then yeah, no, it's back to normal.
That's true. Like last month we had Shiba Swap, and then we had Cobra Swap.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's lots of swaps coming out, but if you're on top of the swap game, you're making quite a bit of money.
That's true. That's true. You get in early when they're actually just starting up and be active on that one. There's a lot of money to be made.
True, you do. You
And
definitely have to keep up. You have to keep
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
And
You gotta keep
Cardano
up.
is-
And number two, be ready to also lose because some of them, those are new ones. Suddenly then you realize that, someone was able to hack and and drain because the smart contract had some issues and all that.
But yeah, so in the farm section, they have really high APRs though. If you check the farm section, it's like some of them are like or over like 100.
Where does
It says farm on the left.
oh, there we go. The 78% APR. So basically, you provide a liquidity to this one, USDC and Phantom.
Yeah, I put 6K in Phantom Boo, and now it's like almost 20K now.
Yeah.
So this is like one of my favorite platforms right now.
And what wallet do you does it?
It's a MetaMask thing, so you gotta
It's a
have
MetaMask. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Maybe I'll let me just bookmark this. And maybe I'll spend some
Yeah,
time.
Phantom is really, I mean, they back NASCAR. They got a NASCAR sponsorship. They're pretty serious. This is like their main swap. So
Yeah, so here's the deal, because there are so many of these albums keep coming. I mean, these along with Ethereum, all these things keep coming. The Phantom is there. Now we had Solana, and Solana had their Serum. Yeah, so Solana has been we saw a huge run up in Solana in last few weeks, I would say. Now Phantom is going up. I don't know what else keep coming up. So I also heard a lot about Avalanche.
This weekend, Cardano is having a big summit, and we expect them to announce, some of the swaps that are in the pipeline. Like, for instance, just to give one, Sunday swap.
Yeah,
That's
Sunday
a Cardano swap.
Yeah. Again, but Cardano doesn't get the love from the developers because they are very different. I mean, I don't know what came into them, why they focus the way they are doing it, but they are not loved by the media or the developers. Like both, all hate them. So they're like considered a rebel in this way. No one likes them.
A rebel within the rebel.
Cardano summit coming up 25th, 26th.
This weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
It's this weekend, and again,
Sorry, I lost you. Can't hear you. Okay. I don't know, was it Manny or Eric who was talking, but you gone on mute while you were talking. So in between.
Sorry, I was clicking the wrong button.
Yeah.
No, so I was saying, yeah, I'm looking a little bit because, again, like Eric was saying, Cardano is a summit, how this whole thing is so driven by news, right?
Yeah.
That maybe if they announce that one particular of the three that I'm going to list right now might be the DEX that they're going to go with or promote or something like that, right? And the three are Sunday swap seems to get a lot of people like it. I would say like they get the user award if you want. Then you have the Ergo DEX, ERGO DEX. That's the one that is supported by Cardano, by the Cardano Foundation. And then there is another one called ADAX, ADAX. So those are potential things that keep an eye on using the Cardano Summit this weekend. And then again, the other thing we were talking about stablecoins. Everybody's waiting to see if they're going to announce the release of the Cardano-based stablecoin called Ardana.
So the stablecoin is DJED, DJED.
But
because
how does Ardana fit into that?
They released the paper, and someone who is actually really into cryptography can go and try to understand how this works. It's really very technical paper. They released it, a formally very cryptographically algorithmic stable coin, and they released it recently, August 17th. So that's their DJED is their a native stable coin on Cardano blockchain. So Charles Hoskinson has been talking about it for months, but only now they released a paper. Now, right now, it's only a paper that is out. Hopefully the development will be done, and they take their own whole time to convert the paper thesis into real products. So
do you mind checking ardana.org? You will see what I'm referring to. Ardana, ARDANA.org. Ardana.org. That's the stable coin that I'm referring to that gets some press in the Cardano world.
This is asset-based stablecoin protocol. So this is not coming from IOHK. This is someone else, some other company is actually building an asset-based stable coin. So it is over collateralized with on-chain Cardano native assets. And the DEX allows for highly capital efficient trading between stablecoins. Yeah, this is a little different than. Sorry, my apologies. I thought you were referring to the Cardano, the main development coming to IOHK based stablecoin. So that was
right.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was just talking some of the things that again to keep an eye on this week, because if something gets announced, so those you might get a rally into those coins. So
I mean, they're gonna announce their the app store for DeFi apps, and just like not really like Apple and the Apple Store and the Play Store, but similar concept is that if you're building a DeFi app, you can host it on the Cardano's or IOHK's app store. What additional functionality or what additional value that they will provide is, if you want to go through the certification process, there is a way that in which you can take your app through a certification process, which will do some basic checks and balances that, your functions, that your smart contracts are written at some level, they are written correctly. They cannot hold the funds after all the conditions are met, or somebody cannot just hack it. There is no easy way to hack it. So, so the IOG, it's not IOHK anymore. No, the IOG, I think they're going to announce this one, the certification process for their DeFi app store also. So there are a lot of things happening. Again, Cardano already had their good run, maybe in anticipation of the whole smart contract and what might be able to build up, but I'm not holding my breath on this one. We will see. But unfortunately, they don't get any love from media. And VCs also, because they didn't raise any money from VCs. So it's all, I think, the foundation and those who are stake pool operators and those who are holders. I'll generally see those talking about Cardano and not any, let's say, VC firm or any media, the crypto media talking in positive light about Cardano. So we gotta see. But
I'm not sure that a VC firm talking negative about a coin is a bad thing. It's the big conflict between decentralized systems and centralized systems, right? So the fact that a VC talks about a coin always makes me nervous for the principle of decentralization.
Yeah. So that was one when I was listening to the fund that those who have invested in Solana when it was 14 cents. So listening to the Kyle Samani, right? And this is a CoinList. I think Kyle Samani is CoinList. Yeah, multi-coin capital. So they were involved in initial fundraising and that invested in Solana before even the public offering or ICOs. I think that offering, Kyle was mentioning that happened at 22 cents. They got it at 14 cents. But the good thing is, these VCs also help in raising the visibility, in pushing the team to do it sooner. So there are pros and cons of it. We've seen what happened in Solana. The blockchain was just dead for 20 hours. It's not entirely decentralized, but there are use cases that will live with it. So, but yeah, Cardano has no big money from Silicon Valley funders, I would say. Okay, what else? What I thought we'll warm up with, we'll start our discussion warming up with literally, this got my heatbit.com. A little fun here. Just to look at this is a company. Basically, they are using silicon chips which generate a lot of heat. And essentially their USP is basically, you can use this. It consumes the same amount of electricity or the power which a normal your standalone heater would. But the heat is coming from these chips because they're also mining Bitcoin. And I think they're given some calculator and all that stuff. I mean, I didn't do all this, but it's interesting to see what people think about these things, right? Now you can make money while you're getting warmed up, while your house is getting warmed up as well. So if you're interested, you can pre-order this. I am least interested.
Well, it's actually pretty awesome. This thing is gonna sell out, and it's gonna sell off the shelves.
So hashing power, we got 14 terahash per second. So why not make some money? I came to know today about the release of something called Miami Coin. I have no idea about this, but looks like the city of Miami. Today, the mayor of Miami was actually talking about this Miami Coin and how, and I don't have all the details, but if you're interested, you can go and try to find it out. But the way he was mentioning, it is generating like $2,000 per day revenue for the city. Mayor Juarez, who is loved by the crypto community because he's like always in the forefront and he's been encouraging a lot of crypto companies to come into Miami. And a lot of influencers actually have gone and now moved their offices to Miami because they find it to be very crypto friendly. So, but that got me thinking today morning, what if all these big cities, and this is not created by the city of Miami. I don't know the history of what's behind that. I only came to know about it today because he was talking about this. Got me thinking, what if we see similar of these coins created by a city, and there's an incentive behind this is, hey, if you pay by San Francisco coin, Starbucks will give you 5% discount. I'll use it. Instead of paying dollars, I might pay by San Francisco coin and get 5% or 10% discount. Really encourage, cities can give us and whatever the revenue arrangement that may have with this, whoever is running these coins, it could be a good business opportunity, and may see a proliferation of localized currencies. It used to be the case in 1880s, 1850s. There were multiple banks issuing their own currency. If this Miami coin really takes off in Miami, maybe we could see a San Francisco coin. But it's an interesting one. We also saw Dapper Labs closing another $250 million funding round. Now, this makes me more to look further into their Flow blockchain. Anyone analyze the Flow blockchain or hold some positions or spend some time on it to understand that Flow? So till now I haven't.
Yeah, so Flow is that it's for NFTs.
Yes,
they're making a lot of NFTs. So
yes,
they're doing the MBA
correct
NFTs, and yeah, they have a large infrastructure already built out.
Yeah. So Dapper Labs is a company. This was the company which became famous and then infamous because of CryptoKitties, which brought down Ethereum in 2017. But that's the company I know of since 2017 has been in the forefront of NFTs. The CryptoKitties were the first most famous NFT that folks started trading way back in 2017. And now the NBA Top Shots is also on Dapper Labs, and it's backed by the Flow blockchain, is specifically focused on NFTs. And I was just thinking, maybe there will be a world in which we will have multiple social networks. Facebook may not be the only social network, which is a general purpose social network. We might have a community specific social networks. We may have one big blockchain for recording purposes, which is Ethereum, where you use that to record all the smart contracts and outputs of it. But that's a general purpose. There will exist industry specific blockchains which will survive and thrive along with Ethereum. May not be a far-fetched idea. So I was thinking, how about if for NFTs, right now you can mint NFTs on every blockchain. Most of them are being done on Ethereum, but these Bored Apes and a few new ones, they were being minted on Solana. Right? But there is no blockchain other than Flow, which I think have got a brand recognition that it is specifically built for NFTs. All of them are general purpose. But
I would think maybe Wax. Wax is straight NFTs.
Wax. Is it WAX blockchain?
Yeah, WAX.
I've heard of that before. Who's behind this?
Actually, I don't know what giant companies are backing it, but it has Deadmau5, a lot of huge names.
All of your brands of collectibles. Oh, okay. See, yeah, looks could be another one. So while could it be at a geographic level also, while that most of the consumers on Asia, Southeast Asia, they basically use Wax, and the American side, they probably mean NFTs which are based on Flow. Again, I think there are various possibilities. There are so many blockchains coming up, and I'm of opinion that this space is big enough to accommodate more than one, probably multiple blockchains, each serving some specific purpose. While the general purposes of blockchains will survive, but those become like a core blockchains, while some of these become a industry specific blockchains. Too early to see how this will pan out, but interesting to see some of these, a lot of money flowing in these. I'll skip this tribalism, but it's little sad to see how people get so attached to one particular blockchain or one particular, I would say, one particular theology. I could call it theology because some of these people, they treat it as a religion. If it's a Bitcoin, I am Bitcoin maxi. It means all other coins are bad. If you're on Ethereum side, then the Bitcoin is shit. So I'm not one of them. I'll try to make money wherever it is possible. But if you're active on Twitter, crypto Twitter, there's a lot of a tribalism in the crypto world. And then Ethereans won't like Cardano's. Cardano's will say Ethereum's done a bad job. And then they'll mock Solana that it is not decentralized, and Solana will say Ethereum is slow and all that stuff. And there is always, in my portfolio, there is room for more than one cryptos. So we'll ignore that. Also, just want to talk about scaling solutions because I heard about another third one. It looks like I don't know how many more scaling solutions will keep coming on Ethereum. Arbitrum and Optimism were the two L2 scaling solutions that I was aware of earlier. Yesterday, I also got across something called Scale, which is they are again trying to build an level 2 L2 layer scaling solution for Ethereum. By the way, all these are Ethereum scaling solution.
Have you heard of NII? NII?
Is that again an L2?
Yep. It's backed by Microsoft. NII.
Me.
There's maybe coin or something. Nami.
Is that the liquid network I had heard of before, but I didn't know that the coin was this.
Yeah,
National
Nami.
scaling solution.
Let's see.
But I don't see
The actual
reference
coin,
to this in media.
Oh yeah, it's just a quiet Microsoft project.
Yeah, I haven't. No, I haven't
It's pretty crazy. I put $2,000 in it, and then it went up to 8,000. Then I took out half of it. Then it dropped down to 2,000, and then it's back up to 6,000 now. So this one is pretty crazy.
So how much?
It's just been going up. It just went up 60% today. Wow, holy smokes!
Yeah, how much is a?
It's 2 cents each.
2 cents. No. So I was looking at how much is the transactions happening on the. How much is the total value logged in this particular?
Oh my gosh!
Network.
I bought 500,000 of them, so I have 500,000.
Yeah.
Me.
Good thing about these things is we can buy it in million, hundreds of thousands, and feel good about it. And I got 10,000 of these. I got 50,000 of this.
Yeah, I just bought it because I was like, if it goes to $1 each one day, I'll be a millionaire. Because that's what happened to me for Theta and Solana this year. I bought Theta at 22 cents. I bought 1,100 of them. And then I ended up selling it at 75 cents. And then, if I held it till $13, I would have made like 130K from $2,000.
True.
Eric, who do you trade with?
I just do all decentralized exchanges.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not that smart. Thanks.
No worries. But yeah, normally my capital, to get capital in, I use Coinbase or crypto.com. Just depends on what kind of coin I'm buying and what kind of chain I'm going to try to get it to.
Yeah, I earlier explained to Vivek that I joined SoFi, but they don't do Solana. So I thought that's kind of bummer.
And see, so with Solana, I bought 2,000 of them for $2 each, and then Solana, I guess wasn't available in America yet, and crypto.com sold it to me before they were supposed to. So they changed my Solana back into CRO. And I'm really butthurt about that one.
Yeah, should sue them. Why did you change it to CRO?
I know, for real. I was thinking I should sue them about that because that'd be like $500,000 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric, I was volunteering for the recall a couple weeks ago. Well, the guard, he said he bought Bitcoin a long time ago, bought about $100 worth, and Coinbase lost it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
there's a lot of sketch about Coinbase. That's why you can't really keep your coins on exchanges, even though it says it's FDI insured by the Fed. I don't know if that's...
No, they're not FDIC insured.
They're not, but...
I thought they were FDIC insured for up to 250K.
But how could Coinbase lose something like that?
No.
I mean, he kept I told him to complain.
So none of these crypto, so I don't think the Coinbase is actually insured by FDIC. Even if they have to take an insurance, it won't be FDIC because this is a This is not even a security because security brokerages are insured by SPIC. The banks are insured by FDIC.
Yeah, well, SoFi maybe know that. I'm not guaranteed on them.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's not Coinbase themselves, it's the banks that they're part. So it's the depositors coverage limit.
Correct.
That's confusing.
So for example, if you, I don't know if this products wherein, I mean, they wanted to do that whole lending product, which SEC nipped them. They are not doing that anymore.
So your money is only insured until, well, it's transferring.
So once you converted that into crypto, it's gone.
Oh, so
Then
if you
it's-
have,
there's
if
a
you
little more
were
insurance.
The ACH is protected.
Yes.
Oh,
Once
the
ACH.
fiat is
the
protected.
fiat,
I
you
get
got
you.
your
Yeah.
The
USDC.
ACH.
Yes. So when you
Wow.
move your money, they will be using some bank because that through that ACH network, and that money is insured. The moment you use your USDC, oh sorry, not USDC, USD, the dollars to buy something, that's it. You're out of that insurance. So no,
Yeah,
no
that's
insurance.
great. I'm way less safe than I thought I was. So
Yeah.
But Derek, you said yourself, you probably have most of it on your own wallet, right?
yeah, I have everything. Yeah, I just keep it on different, but I needed some cold storage and I need to start doing a lot more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
So I got something to share with you guys.
Mhm.
I'm actually launching my own cryptocurrency here in 6 days or so. It's called ecosystemnetwork.io.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just a developer here, full-time crypto developer in the Bay Area, and I'm just creating some various crypto projects. I have 8 planned.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got a white paper.
Yeah, yep, already got white paper built out. So basically, I'm just rewarding people for doing stuff like you guys are doing here today. Just you're just having like a community meeting, and you're just educating the public with important information that people need nowadays, because a lot of people are harmed. There's a lot of scammers out there. I myself have lost a great deal of money from various scams, and I'm just trying to build this out here to create more education and try to help create more trust around cryptocurrency.
What's the utility of it?
So it's video conferencing like we're doing right now. So say like a community leader would become a node, and it would be the community leader, the node's duty once a month to have a video conference like this, at least 30 minutes to an hour. And then there's also going to be validators that come to the meeting, and their job is just to take everybody's wallet information down, and then if they have a vote, if there's any kind of votes that need to be taken, and then I'm having a platform that I'm going to be rolling out here pretty soon, and that way the nodes and the users and the validators are all going to be able to interact with each other, and share content.
Cool.
So yeah, so like someone would become a node, they would host their video conference like this, and then I would reward everybody once a month type of deal. So it's a multi-chain project, and we're going to launch on 7 different chains. There's 3 chains that are in the works right now, and every time we launch on a new chain, you're going to get airdropped the value of like whatever you're holding in your other wallets. You're going to get it in the new coin. So when we drop on Solana, for instance, if you're holding 100 ECO in Matic, we're going to drop you 100 ECO on Solana.
All right. Good luck. Yeah,
definitely. You guys just check it out. I'll definitely be coming through your guys' meetings more, and I'm trying to meet a lot more people, and just become a bigger figure in the community and just meet a lot more people.
This looks interesting. Yeah, I'll read through this to understand more.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm really out here just trying to recruit more team members, and just trying to get more people on more eyes on this project, because I'm really trying to change the game here, decentralize how people socialize.
True.
Eric, where are you located?
I'm in Richmond actually.
In the East Bay.
Yeah.
Richmond.
Okay, so we're all around. Pleased to meet you. I'm in on your SFO.
Nice.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm also
Very,
dropping.
you're bringing the DAO to the real world.
Exactly. And then I'm also dropping an NFT project. The website's not ready yet, but I have a promo video on the Facebook page. It's called G Squad Verse. I'll be giving you guys more content. I'll let you guys know about that one when the website's ready though. So I'm not trying to market it.
Anything on the DeFi side you're doing?
Yeah, DeFi. So there's going to be some liquidity mining. It's going to be done the same way that the Unidex bot was done. So they have liquidity mining airdropped rewards. So there's no deposit into a contract because that's more risk. I'm trying to limit all risk and then use any kind of social infrastructure that's already built. So
Got it. Cool. Interesting one. Great idea, Rick.
thanks.
Cool. Zifty asked a question. What do you mean by putting money in it for staking? USDC buy coins? Sorry, I'm learning how these things are. We all are learning, Zifty. Zifty, would you care to talk about it? Maybe I'm not sure what you were asking. Or maybe I lost the context because the question came earlier. Can you explain what you had in your mind? Maybe Zifty can't talk right now. So Ross is Atom and AXS. Atom is, I think that's Cosmos, if I recall correctly. ATOM. Cosmos. Yeah. This is again one interesting one because I think Cosmos, if I feel Cosmos and Polkadot, both are trying to both are kind of competing in terms of what they're trying to do is to provide an infrastructure on which other developers can build blockchains using their infrastructure. So which was I referring, which is recently which became very famous, is actually built on Cosmos. It was yesterday or day before. Now I can't recall the name of that project, but that's built using Cosmos. And maybe there are more projects coming on Cosmos. That's why in last 2-3 days, it's moved up from $30 all the way up to $45. It's like up 50%, while some of the other the rest of the crypto industry actually caught cold because Cosmos was just going through the moon. Maybe there are more projects that are now being built on top of Cosmos. I said, okay, there are some coin bureau. Cosmos is one of the most important crypto projects.
Yeah, I'm pretty bullish on Cosmos. I actually, believe it or not, have $108 price target on it.
On Cosmos. So now I have a question on this money. How do you do a price target on these ones?
FIBO.
Especially on the crypto price targets.
I do FIBO, pure Fibonacci trend.
Okay.
You know, you draw your lines and you see where you have the most weight and the most action. Like right now, we're like in a big band, you know, let me look at the number. So there is like a big band, you know, between the 38 and actually the 47. 53 will be very hard again to cross 53. And then it's 65, 87, 108. So those are the levels, you know. So again, those are levels that you take just based by analyzing the chart.
Yeah.
Purely. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Could be
So
French fries.
yeah. So FIBO, I mean, on the general stock market, because there are a lot of history behind it, and those, I see many traders using FIBO. Only thing my concern on this whole crypto assets, that they are so new. Do they really follow the general trend that what we see on the stock market? You know, the standard TA, either it could be FIBO, it could be Bollinger Bands or whatnot, right? moving averages, etc. So in your experience, what do you think? I mean, do they still respect the crypto assets? They still respect those TAs, or?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Remember, TA, it doesn't matter. You could be measuring bananas. That's how TA works. It doesn't matter. You're just looking at a graph and you see how that graph is moving and how that price is moving through the graph. And you're going to find that there are certain zones of that graph. Again, it could be anything. Look at the graph, how it evolves, and of whatever you're counting. And then you're going to see that there are certain areas where it's going to accumulate a little bit. You're going to see that certain areas is going to have hard times crossing over, crossing down. Those things work in anything. Now, to your point, how fine can you go, right? The thing is, like in crypto, I never go into individual levels. I always go into certain bands, right? Because you can't be that precise, to your point. So you go into little bands, but that still helps, right?
Okay.
That still helps, because if you want to make, like, for instance, like it just happened now, right? It went back to 32. So Atom went down to 32, right? It was a 41 when it went down to 32 in less than 3 days. Well, you can imagine, if you're in trading, what you can do there, right? But the thing, and what it stopped at 32, right? Which is a very, like 31 something. It's a very strong resistance, very strong resistance.
Mm-hmm.
If it would have crossed at 31, I was watching it like, eagle-eyed. If it would have crossed that, then the next level would have been again back to the 20s, mid-20s where it was. So the thing is, like, it helps. And again, you're confirming it as you go. These last 3 days were awesome for my charting because I could confirm or not some of my levels. So back to your question, yes, I think it works. But again, the problem is, like, we have much more volatility in this market because there's actually much more concentration in this market, which is interesting for a decentralized market, right? But there's much more concentration here, much more small owners owning most. Right? I mean, it's something like, what is it? 25% of the people own 85% of the crypto. Something like that, right? But no, TA works. You have to be careful with the volatility because it can go, and news are, of course, impacting it a lot. But levels are levels. Levels are levels. Now it's art sometimes more than science.
Yeah. So I haven't, when it comes to crypto, I haven't started looking in, on the Fibo or the Bollinger Bands, etc. Again, and that's just me, because at least there is a different level of information which is available, especially on these Bitcoins and the Ethereum, because these are open public, which generally we don't have in a regular stock market. Because you can look at on-chain metrics on this public blockchain to bring in and see who's holding, where is moving, etc. In absence of that, in the stock market, we don't have that visibility, and hence only thing that we have is to look at these studies, these TA charts. So that's why I was a little curious on, does this still apply to blockchain? Because now we know how the data has been moving in real time, where the coins are moving. Are they moving into wallet addresses which have been just buying and holding it, or are they moving into an addresses which generally the hold period in those addresses is less than 7 days, right? Then we can deduce, are these are the what do you call those paper hands who are buying it, or these are the diamond heads who are buying it? That means the supply is going to reduce. So we can make all those sort of deductions in the blockchain side, in the crypto side, which we don't even get to see this transparency in the stock market. We only get to know after the quarter when the 13F is being filed by big players, what they bought. So that's why I've been trying to put more focus on the on-chain metrics, especially on the Bitcoin side. But it's good feedback from you that don't ignore the technical analysis.
No, and just again, don't use TA to pick a coin. That's a little bit more complex. What I use TA for is my entry and my exit.
Okay.
So it's pure for trading. It's not for holding. If I'm holding Bitcoin, yes. If it goes down, everybody knows. If it goes down below 43, you buy a little bit. Okay, we know that. But where does the 43 come from?
Yeah.
There is a 43, right? 43,500. Where does that come from? Same thing, if last week Bitcoin would have gone under 39 or 37, we would have panic on board. Where does that number come from? right? So even if TA works or doesn't work, to some extent, it doesn't matter. You just need to have critical mass of people using it to make decisions. And then in itself, it becomes a guideline.
Yeah, it becomes a it becomes self-fulfilling prophecy.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there is that aspect too, which is kind of interesting when you think about it. But it's really more purely like, hey, I want to do a trade. Like, for instance, you were talking about Atom, right? If you look at Atom, you say like, I don't know. I don't want to know about the project. I don't want to know anything about it. I just want to invest in it. How much is it? Where can I go in and where shall I go out? So if you go in now at 41, 42, how quickly can I get 10% out of it, 20% out of it, whatever your risk reward is? That's what you use it for.
Yeah. So I think for me personally, I don't have to do it here because my intent or the way I do in this is I'm going to spend a lot of time in trying to understand, build conviction, read about it, listen to it, get into conferences, and then just buy and then hold and sit on it. and then just keep buying it at regular intervals. That's for now, that's my modus operandi on the crypto asset side. So, and
both are compatible, right? You can do a little bit of holding, a little bit of trading, and a little bit of DeFi, and a little bit. You have to do a little bit of everything. That's what's fun, right? It's supposed to be fun too.
Yeah. So I'm not done much trading on the crypto side. It's mostly one way. I think I only done two failed transactions in the last 12 months. It's all buy and sit tight.
And Eric, just on the trade side, something we were talking about wallets. One thing that is kind of interesting is when you start to do your trades in wallet, so you're not even going through any of the exchanges anymore, right? I mean, of course, you go to the DEXs, right?
Yeah, but I only do centralized to get it's like a fiat on-ramp.
Same here.
Yeah, and then all your trades should be on your DEX.
Absolutely, and then hold everything into your own private wallet. And now, Trust Wallet has a great, cheap, even DEX on it, on the Trust Wallet. We have a DEX in it.
But Trust Wallet is also really dangerous because my friend, he just like 2 weeks ago, I tried to get him into like some high risk DeFi stuff, and then he thought like that Trust Wallet had a DeFi like a web browser, like MetaMask does. So he clicked on some scam thing and put in his passphrase, and then they drained his whole account.
Yeah.
So it's like they're doing phishing scams on Trust Wallet, so they can get you for sure.
Yeah, you have to be careful. It's not Trust Wallet's fault though.
Yeah, that's true. It's the operator.
Fault that
but you want to make some fail safe so that you have some security there protecting you. For sure, you gotta. Yeah. That's why I'm thinking more and more towards cold storage for at least my assets like Bitcoin, and Ethereum potentially.
Yeah, that's why I do for holding, like Vivek is talking, like long-term hold. All of that is in our wallet, and then my trades. It depends. Some trades on my own wallet, and then other trades I don't care. I just do it on Binance because it's easier. That's what I use as a major entry point for dollars.
Because that 6% APR that Celsius is paying me, I don't think that's worth it. It's basically like it's like paying for insurance, like just putting in your own wallet in cold storage. So, that's why, I'm pro cold storage for your main pot of money for sure. I really love MetaMask.
Yeah, the core holdings that we don't intend to sell. We should just move it to the cold storage.
Definitely.
I mean,
awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate this meeting. Like I actually learned a lot about ADA, and I didn't know the other swaps. I didn't know Ergo had a swap. I know a lot about mining, because Ergo is like the second best coin to mine. So I've been mining Ergo myself, but I didn't even know that they had a swap themselves. So I'm learning stuff here tonight as well. And the heating miner, it's blowing my mind right now. I'm thinking about buying like 10 of these. I don't need it, but I know I can resell it on eBay for like double or triple.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, because those helium hotspots, I bought like 10 of those things when they first came out. And that's what I did is I sold them for like quadruple on eBay. And then same thing, you know, I just put all the profits all back into it. So I'm still waiting for a bunch of hotspots to come in just to resell. You know, it's kind of like
Funny.
it's like
Now
that,
they
you
have
know.
total 194,000 hotspots.
Oh yeah, it's going off the chain. And you know, I ordered my stuff in like February, March. So it's like I'm still waiting on like 5
Yeah,
hotspots right now.
they are back ordered. I mean, last time when we analyzed the helium, I think it was a second or third meeting, if I don't recall.
You're gonna get yours in like a year if you
Yeah.
order now.
So they were like so back ordered by like 3 months.
I'm telling you, the one that's good right now that you can get really fast is the M2 Pro miner. So I actually just bought another one. It's called M2 Pro. It's the helium competitor. So I think they have, I don't know if they have more hotspots, but I think they might have more.
So
They're from Germany.
because we talked about helium, something that came across on while I was listening to this Kyle Samani of the multi-coin capital. The other second project where he was very bullish is helium. So
Oh yeah, because it's backed by Google.
yeah, so he
So
talked
this is
about
This is a
Solana.
Google coin.
And the second thing he says he's very bullish about is the helium, or these types of projects wherein the individuals, common people can come together and provide a service which has till now been controlled only by big corporations, right? So if you really look at this is like challenging the incumbents, 4 big incumbents, right? AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, and now only 3, right? Sprint and T-Mobile merged. So this and a project like these, which challenges these big incumbents, could become a completely new force to reckon with in a decade or two. And that's why he's very bullish on this one. Again, you should do your own study, but because we talked about helium, just came to my mind that while I was listening to Kyle, he also talked about helium.
I really like the M2 Pro miner compared to helium miners. Because like say a helium miner, yeah, it costs you $500, but it takes you a year to get it. But the M2 Pro miner, you probably get that in like 2 or 3 weeks. And then this thing starts making $14 a day for you.
But this also provides this whole
they provide the whole thing. So like you get it, you just
the
connect it to
network,
your
like,
app.
okay.
Yeah, you just connect it to your app, you plug it into the internet, and then it just starts printing money for you.
Now, the bigger question I have with this, for the networks between these, are those interoperable? For example, if I'm a user, if I'm on this, whatever the company this is behind this M2 MatchX, let's say MatchX, and my IoT device, which I've installed on a bike, let's say a Lime bike, when I'm now driving through an area where I have a MatchX connection to send the info back to my headquarters, the moment I move out of that and get into the helium network, are these interoperable? If not,
yeah, they should be, because it's radio signal.
yeah.
So they're both using the same frequencies. So it's radio is what it is. So
this is going to be, this.
It's huge. It's huge.
Next few years is going to become huge.
I literally regret selling all the helium that I mined in the beginning, because that's another situation where I'd have $500,000 right now if I just held on to it, but I sold it for like $2,500.
So that's the reason why I am not. That's the reason why I've done only 2 sales transactions last year, because
I'm telling you what, I'm never selling any of the stuff I believe in ever again. I'm just gonna collect that stuff and then give it to my children.
For me, my idea is that it's a asymmetric return possibility, at least in some of these cryptos, right? If you lose, you lose whatever you put in, but there is a possibility that you might make 10x, 50x, 20x. We don't know which one is going to make it. And so I'm like, should I sell this? This has become double, right? So for example, my core holdings, Bitcoin, Ether, they are all more than double, etc. I'm like, no, let's sit on it. And, similar is the case with ADA and all that. I'm like, okay, let's wait on it. We don't know.
Well, basically, I've just been going after anything that Google, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, any crypto they put their name on that they're like officially partnered with. That's like 100x coin for sure. Like HBAR is going to be their next one to really go crazy, because that has all the big players behind it.
So doesn't the community, crypto community, actually won't look at it as a favorable if there are all the big companies behind it?
Well, yeah, it's yes and no. Okay, because you have two sides of it. You have the people that like to be professional, they're in the professional realm. So they work at BlackRock or something. So they want other companies to be in there. So it's, they don't care. They're not scared of big companies. Like for me, and for instance, like, I like Facebook. I always use Facebook. I don't hate them or anything. I don't care if they do good. They have their problems and stuff. I'm sure every tech community does, but that's what it is. It's just a huge community of tech people. And, I'm sure Facebook has fed a lot of families and supported a lot of people. So it's it's a double-edged sword, it's with it. It's really hard because there is the people, that's everything just needs to be decentralized and everything. But for the safety factor, you got to have there has to be some regulation and some big players. And that's how things get innovated, is technology comes in with big money and start making ideas,
No, I'm not against regulations. I think the regulations are required to make it a safe place for everyone to operate in. Just that they should not start killing this industry. Regulations could go to any extreme. And based on whatever we are at least noticed in last few weeks, looks like right from a
they shouldn't have a monopoly on it. They shouldn't have a monopoly on us in any way.
So all the way from SEC to OCC, we are seeing people who are leading them are becoming more and more anti-crypto. Today's news, OCC commissioner, I forgot the name of the lady. She's a law professor in Cornell. She is a well-known critic of crypto. And now she will become OCC commissioner. Means if anyone wants a bank charter, any companies that are serving this crypto, and let's say any bank wants to become a digital asset bank, they need to get the charter updated, have to work with OCC. We'll see how these things play out. And on the SEC side, Gary Gensler's comment is, unless otherwise told, consider everything as a security. Even these Celsius networks and the BlockFis and the Nexos interest yielding account in the eyes of SEC could turn out to be a security. And now they're saying we need to protect individual investors on this and put regulations. Come on, man, I'm happy making 8%. Let me make that 8%. But I'm sure a lot of banks are behind SEC to kill this industry, because where did I move my money from? From my banking deposit CD account, right? I'm get rid of this 0.5% CD, broke that CD, moved it over to Celsius and BlockFi, rather make some money over there. And now regulators are saying, oh no, we should not allow individual investors. What crap.
Oh, we got a good comment from Tammy. Tammy was saying that it's a good strategy to have segregated accounts by having eToro, Coinbase, Webull, by having your crypto in 4 different accounts, 5 different accounts. It makes it harder for you to be hacked or to lose everything. So that's a really good strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been a little lazy on that one.
Eric, do you know David Rubenstein?
I think I've heard of the name.
Yeah, well, he's a guy from President Carter. I don't know. He did some treasury work. He's a credible guy that says there's some place for people that don't want to go with the system, and that means banking system for cryptos. So
you never have to use a bank again if you don't want a loan.
Well, I joined SoFi, and I think it's kind of screwy. I wanted to trade cryptos, and they don't have Solana. It's a lot worse than Fidelity.
Well, I'll tell you what, I had one of those crypto loans where I put my crypto in there and they give me interest on it. It was in Uphold. and their cred service, and I had a half a Bitcoin in there, and they just went bankrupt in the beginning of the year. And
Oh,
so
they can lose it.
yep, they can lose it. You just go bankrupt, and then now like they only have to give me back like 40 cents per dollar or something like that. It's crazy. It's a huge legal battle right now.
Well, thank you. That means I have to stay with the safe companies and be a follower.
For sure. But I mean, even that Uphold cred, like that seemed credible. Like Uphold is a really nice. I mean, like the app is really nice, and they just seem super credible. So I don't know. Even they can promote, like even a good company can promote like like that Mount Gox thing. Like everyone thought that was like a legit nice company, and then they got in it, and then everyone got hacked. So yeah, I mean, it's the wild west right now. It really is.
Yeah, Mount Gox was legit. Just that they got hacked, and that's why I'm a little scared about all these new yield farming stuff coming up, because I mean some of them also have been hacked earlier. So it all depends on and Eric, because you're in this industry, it all depends on how much you study and how much you are able to spend time and build your conviction around a particular project. But I agree with it. This is wild west. There is no 1-800 number to call if you make a mistake. I mean, I've been emailing the Celsius folks, because when I initially started using Polygon to cut down on my gas fee, I mistakenly transferred to move the USDC over to Celsius. I sent it over the Polygon network, and it never arrived. And a good thing is that it wasn't a huge amount. But it was decent one that, hey, it did pinch me. And I reached out to them like, can you use this bridge and just move it over to the Ethereum mainnet? I mean, there's a bridge available, but because I don't own that wallet address, so I can't use that bridge. And it's been 2-3 months. All I get to know by email is, yeah, we will look into it when we will look into it. Right? But there's no, it's wild west. You make a mistake, and I can see right there in the Polygon network that my USDCs are just sitting there. Some part of a time when maybe Celsius will start to support Polygon, I'm hoping that those coins will start to appear in my account. But I learned my lesson. Now to be double sure, and I have to check in MetaMask exactly what blockchain I'm at before I do a transfer.
True. And then maybe also like not sending all your coins at once, or like splitting things up into multiple transactions.
Right. I mean, that's what I did with the earlier one also, but it was still, it was a decent amount. Not that will break me, but not that something that I'll forget about it. So, but yeah, we will learn the lessons. You always have to pay through one or the other way to learn these lessons. So I learned my lessons. So now I'm very careful when I'm using MetaMask.
And I confirm, when you're sending a ball, when you're crossing different platforms, always test with a small amount first.
Yeah.
Even the smartest people I know make mistakes, right? So send one, make sure everything works, that you get it where you want, and then get to the next pick. And again, if you're moving big amounts, again, do it in pieces, right? It's better if something goes wrong, at least you're not losing all at once, right? Minimizing your risk.
True. Yeah, lessons learned.
And to the point of like, yeah, they are risks. They are very big risks. But that's also why you're getting 6% on the dollar.
True. Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the nature of the game a little bit, is that, yeah, it's a little bit the wild west out there. That's also why you can get gains that you cannot get in other places.
That
game.
Yeah, hey, so I just wanted to say thanks everybody. I appreciate this little chat, everyone, with networking with all you guys. I got to run actually, but yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys I appreciate this. I learned some knowledge from you guys. I look forward to like coming to another one of these meetings sometime.
Sure. Thank you, Eric, for coming today.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. And good luck on your project.
Okay, sick. And then, hey, I just ended all the streams too. I'll send the links in the chat right now. We were streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Theta, and Twitch all at the same time the whole
Oh,
time.
great.
It was amazing. You guys provided some really solid content. So I'll put all the links in the chat. So in a little bit, all the videos will be.
Right.
I got to put some info in the descriptions and stuff. Here's the YouTube. So yeah, I'll send all the links. So
Cool. Thank you very much.
yeah, no worries, guys.
Right. Yeah, we are almost over time. I mean, by the end of our session time, but I can hang around if there's a few more things to talk. But I got this chart comparing Bitcoin and gold. An interesting one. It talks about the age and durability. 12.5 years, more than 5,000 years proven. Bitcoin is still unproven as an asset. Scarcity, yeah, it is fixed and limited. Gold is estimated, but of course it is limited. There's no unlimited amount of gold. And what is divisibility, easy and fast, difficult. What was the interesting thing was, I didn't know there were 251,000 tons of total supply.
Vivek, if I wanted my Bitcoin, could they send it to me?
If you
Wanted the physical product?
there is no
They send it-
physical Bitcoin. Right? So Bitcoin is it's just an entry in the ledger. All we are paying for is to get our wallet address in a ledger which is held on multiple of computers. There is no physical Bitcoin.
So why does it cost so much energy to mine a Bitcoin? I don't understand if it's just an
Okay.
entry in a ledger.
No, so the mining process here is the computers, because see, let's go back to the basics. The way this whole blockchain works is, yeah, maybe I can use this. The reason it is called blockchain is because every data, every transaction that we do is kept in a ledger or let's say is being added in a block. Say one block is mined every 10 minutes. So say we do a lot of transactions, they all put together in a block. And say this is the first block on the blockchain, very easy to mine, means very easy to create. The next one, when it's created, it is chained to this block because, and without getting into too much technical details, the information from the first block is also present in the second block. So means if you go back and change some entry into this block, this gets invalidated. It means if you have added one block, that becomes permanent. That is why it's called, we say these blockchains become immutable, and means you can't change it, and censorship resistant, that government can't force anyone to change it. Now you add one more block, it means if anyone changes this block, these two becomes invalid, you can't change it. So the more and more blocks you keep on adding, the more and more it's become more and more difficult to change it. So that's why this is called blockchain, because these blocks are chained together. Now let's talk about, so this is how the blockchain is created. Right? Now, who has got an authority to chain these two together? Who's going to decide? That's where the miners come into picture. So miners are nothing but a set of computers who basically collect all these transactions that haven't been, that you and I are posting, add them in a block, and then say, you know, I want to, it's Vivek wants to add it and want to add this in a block. And when I add this, I do the work of adding it, and then I'll get rewarded by some Bitcoins that are created new. That's what I'll call a minting of Bitcoin. Right now, the reward is, I think, 6.25 Bitcoins per block. Now, with thousands and thousands of miners coming up, each one of them are competing against each other to create this block the fastest. And not only you have to create the block fastest, you have to also solve a cryptographic puzzle. Again, not getting into the details of the hash and the nonce and all that stuff, but a cryptographic puzzle would be, you have to find a string which, if added to these transactions and hash, will create or give us a random value in which you got a leading 10 characters are zeros, right? It's not easy to do that. Right now, probably these computers will have to run a trillions of permutations to find that combination which will give them the initial characters to be zeros, right? And that is where it becomes very expensive. That is why you have a mining farms, the computers are, warehouse full of computers, because if you have to run those trillions of transactions, you need that much of a computing power. Now, the reason why they have to do all this, it has become difficult, is if I am a dishonest miner, I have to waste so much of my currency, it could be US dollars, whatever, in setting up and in running up that farm, and spend so much of electricity and computing power to win the race, to be able to add this block, that if I'm a dishonest person, my cost of doing this work is so much that the reward may not be enough to compensate for that. So that is called proof of work. You have to give a proof that you have spent some time, some resources, you have done some work before you are allowed to add a block in the blockchain. I know I've simplified it a very lot. I've not gone into the technical details of the hashes and how these are connected together with the hash of the previous block and whatnot, but this is essentially what a blockchain works. All the proof of work blockchain works in the similar way.
Yeah, thanks.
And the reason these computers are called miners, because they mimic the same work which miners do who are mining, let's say, real gold. What they do, what the miners, they have to spend so much resources in digging the earth, getting the raw gold out, run it, purify it to make it sellable, right? So they already have to invest so much of money in that, and then they are able, if they are, let's say, becomes or turn out to be fraud, whatever they take out from earth and does turn out to be fraud, they've already spent that much amount of money. So this concept came from a spam email. It was to be used as a method to avoid spam emails. Today we all get so much spam email because the cost of sending email is zero. So it doesn't cost anyone to send 1 million emails and spam everyone's email box. But if this proof of work, which was created during this whole email time, is if before sending an email, if you have to spend some amount of energy, some amount of computing cycles, which will cost you, say, 1/10 of a cent, those who have a genuine need for sending email will send it. Spammers will have to think twice because they'll have to spend that amount of money before sending million emails out. And you may not even get, you might get 10 responses out of it. May not be really worth it. But we never implemented it in email system. And the reason is now we are all getting spammed by all these emails. So proof of work was actually, the concept came from there. And Satoshi Nakamoto used this in designing the whole Bitcoin blockchain. So that's the proof of work. That's why it's called mining. These computers are called miners, and they have to spend so much of electricity to get the reward 6.25 Bitcoins. If they are the one who are able to, who solve that cryptographic puzzle the quickest and get an authority to add that block in the blockchain and get paid this reward 6.25 plus the transaction fee. All right.
Sorry, response? Because back in 2013, Wozniak, the great Steve Wozniak, he got like $75,000 of crypto. So if it was on a blockchain, and back then crypto was about $100, he probably got less than that. He got 75,000. So couldn't they trace who stole it?
No, so someone can only steal it if they have a private key, access to the private key.
Oh,
Yeah. So if the entry is there, the whole, what are we doing when we're actually trying to sell or move our Bitcoins is I'm signing a transaction digitally using my private key, in which I'm saying, okay, I approve moving, say, let's say 1 Ethereum from my address to this particular address, right? And the miners validate that transaction, make sure that, you know, the signatures are valid, which will be if I own the private key. And if that's the case, a new ledger entry will come in the ledger, which will say the you know, basically debit transaction on mine. And that depends on what the accounting model of the blockchains is. But necessarily it will basically do the same entry like our banks do, right? Move this much from my account, my wallet, and add the equivalent into the wallet where I'm sending it. That's all. It's a ledger entry. Our whole banking is a ledger entry. Today, if I send money to you, I mean, if I have to transfer ACH, I don't send cash to you in an envelope. Bank just switches the ledger. You know, bank will reduce the amount in my account. It's just all electronic, right? It's all just changing the ledger entries, even in the fiat world. And your bank will just update in the ledger saying your balance increased by $100. My bank will just reduce my balance by $100. Just change the entry in the ledger. Just in Bitcoin and Ethereum, the ledger is public. You can see it. I can see everyone's wallet. And if you have fun, you know, we try to see the wallet of Satoshi Nakamoto, and that is why all the on-chain metrics. If you look at a glass node, all on-chain metrics are based on what is holding in what wallet, right? You can actually see who is moving money, or no, this one, tier 1 metrics. Oh, come on. See, active addresses. Long-term position holder position change. Okay, this is a professional one. So I mean, you can actually see, we can't see in a banking system, but here we can see who are the long-term holders. Means, you know, that depends how Glassnode defines long-term holder. But I think they define anyone who has not sold anything in last 150 days. You can see how many accounts haven't sold any Bitcoin, how many wallets haven't sold any Bitcoin in last 150 days. It's open public blockchain. Anyone can query it. Anyone can see it. But the only thing is I can't withdraw it. I can see, oh, blockchain explorer. If I know public address, I can see anyone's address, right? Let's see what's happened in this transaction. You can see this address, money came in from how much? 0.12 BTC and gone to this address. I just don't know who are the people behind this, but everything is open. That's the beauty of these public blockchains. Zifty Vivek, do transaction of timestamps, and do the miners have to add the million transaction in sequential order correctly to solve the block? So the transactions do have a timestamps. But do miners have to add in the same timestamp or not? I don't think that they have to add in the same timestamp. That's why some of them, they'll pick up the transactions and add it, but then the validators, when they're trying to validate the transactions, they will reject the block. If, for example, an incoming transaction in my wallet is after, it hasn't been picked in this particular block, but the outgoing transaction from wallet has been picked in this block. In that case, the transaction will not be valid and will be rejected. But every transaction has got a timestamp. Manny says, be aware that in Robinhood, you don't have your own wallet for your cryptos, hence you can only buy, sell, and hold. You cannot receive or send. Wallet may be available next year. Yesterday, there was a news about Robinhood Wallets. I didn't get into the details, but I think the chief product officer of Robinhood was on CNBC and was talking about how great this wallets will be. And I understand because, this is the only bread winner, will bring food for Robinhood. The stockbroking probably is being challenged because of all the concerns around payment for order flow and the whole meme mania dying down. Cryptos is their next money-making business. So I think they are pretty close to creating a wallet. Robinhood crypto wallet. It was in the news very recently, like 1 day ago. We'll start testing crypto wallets next month.
I put the link on the chat.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's early. Yeah, so Robinhood knows that they have to do a good job here. I mean, to survive as a company. Cool. All right. Some great discussion today. Anything else? Otherwise, we're done.
Good meeting as usual. Thank you, Vivek.
You're most welcome, Manny. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'll see some of you on Saturday. This week, we will have the Saturday session. Otherwise, we'll talk again on next Thursday to talk more on cryptos. Cool.